hey, I'm just trying to pick out a game to play here on my Steam Deck. You know, there's a lot of games to play on the Steam Deck. I've been pretty outspoken about my distaste for the gaming landscape here in 2025. Things are rough when it comes to like the consoles, and I'm not much of a PC gamer. If somebody came up to me on the street and asked me which console or what they should get into, honestly, I would still say the Steam Deck. I think the Steam Deck is the best bang for your buck when it comes to gaming right now. Huge library, the emulation potential is great. You can still play Game Pass. The Epic Store is available. You can do PlayStation Remote Play with this thing. The Steam Deck is so versatile. I love docking it and playing it that way on the television, playing it handheld. This is the little engine that could of gaming right now. And I spend a lot of time playing my Steam Deck. That's why I'm back with 5 more cheap games for the Steam Deck. I did an episode of this last year talking about 5 cheap Steam Deck games, and here are 5 more cheap Steam Deck games. Just like the last time, I have my buddy Legend of Leo on, so I'm going to be doing 4 of the entries. He's going to be doing 1 of the entries. That's 5 if you do your math. Usually on this show, on 5 Cheap Games, I do a $20 cap for most consoles, and then Nintendo consoles I do a $30 cap. I'm gonna make it universal, and I'm gonna do a $30 cap for all consoles. Not saying that every game will be $30. Definitely not. I have one game on this list today that's $5. But that way, across every video, it's always going to be $30 from now on. Just so you know, if you watch these 5 Cheap Games episodes. So sit back, relax, and hopefully there's something in this video that'll catch your eye. You can play all these games on your Steam Deck, or you could just play them on your PC if that's what you're into. But the Steam Deck, all these games are verified to work on the Steam Deck. So yeah, I hope you enjoy the video. First up here, we have Super Indie Karts. I'm a huge fan of kart racing. In fact, I'm kind of addicted to it. Let me know in the comments if you would like to see a full 5 Cheap Games episode dedicated to kart racers, because I could play these things all day long. Super Indie Karts I find to be really interesting, because it's a crossover of a bunch of different indie properties. Some of them I know, some of them I don't know. But it's cool to get to see all of these characters and tracks based on their different games together in one game. There's characters from games that I know, like Freedom Planet, Toe Jam and Earl, Tesla Guard, Runbow, The Fist of Awesome. I'm trying to think of what else. There's a lot in this game. And then there's a lot of characters that I don't know, that by playing this game, I'm kind of interested to see where they came from. But if you're a huge fan of, Mutant Mudds, guess what? The kid's in here, and there's a track based on Mutant Mudds. That's what's so cool about Super Indie Karts, and its visual style. I would say that its visual style represents a 16-bit kart racer, but it doesn't play like a 16-bit kart racer. It plays more like a modern kart racer, which is very cool. I love the fact that each track is designed after a different game, which usually has its own style that comes along with it, which is very cool to see. I love all the different characters that they've included. And what's really cool about Super Indie Karts is that it's still being updated. They're still adding new tracks and new characters. So if this is one you're interested in, not only do you already have a great game with a lot of single player content and a multiplayer content, but the game will continue to be updated throughout the future. I think that's really cool. Great kart racer. I haven't had any issues with the balancing in this game.
I think they've done a great job. And I think I bought this in like a pack of different indie games, and I was genuinely surprised by Super Indie Cards. I think this game is really good. Watch out, old school beat 'em up fans, because we have Double Dragon Gaiden Rise of the Dragons. If you like Double Dragon, this game is right up your alley. What a cool beat 'em up, man. I played this last year, and I have to say, I don't know if I've played a beat 'em up half as fun as this one in a long time. Double Dragon Gaiden Rise of the Dragons is cool because it's a beat 'em up that has a somewhat of like a roguelike, like elements included. So it's your standard Double Dragon game. You could play as Billy or Jimmy or a whole slew of other characters, and you pick two of them to play as once. So if you're playing single player, you're going to pick two of them. If you're playing two-player co-op, you're still going to pick two of them for each character, each player, and you swap between them as you play. It has a really cool tag mechanic in that way, and a cool mechanic with its special moves, where you want to try to do combos with the special moves and get multiple enemies at once to earn health, which is very unique for a beat 'em up. I haven't seen a lot of beat 'em ups try this before. What's also unique is the fact that the game itself isn't very long. One run of the campaign will take you maybe a little over an hour. But what's cool is that the game is about you taking back this city, and you have 4 different gangs you have to go up against. And whenever you pick one of them to start with, you can pick between one of the 4 to start. Once you beat that first gang, it's going to be 1 level and 1 boss fight. The other gangs will actually get tougher, and their levels will get longer. So if you go to the second game, you're actually going to have 2 levels and a harder boss fight, and so on as you continue, which is cool because it gives you some replay value. You're not going to be able to see all of the levels, your first run through. You're going to need to do at least a few different runs to see the extended versions of each of the gang's hideouts, which is also very unique for a beat 'em up. I really love this game. I think they're even adding some content soon, which is very cool. There's a lot of characters to unlock. There's a lot of fun to be had. Double Dragon Gaiden Rise of the Dragons should not be missed, and I think this game is great, and if you have a Steam Deck, it plays great there.
Well done! Lucky me.
Star Hunter DX is a spaceship shoot 'em up, and the footage you're seeing here, sorry if it looks weird, you're actually seeing the footage from my Xbox, because I actually do have this one on Xbox, not Steam Deck, but it is compatible with Steam Deck, and I really wanted to include a spaceship shooter. This game is $5. This is the game I was talking about that's $5. Star Hunter DX is very cool. Not just from a gameplay standpoint, but from a visual standpoint. It is very arcadey in nature. You're going to pick one of the 3 characters available to you after you unlock all 3 of them, of course. And you are trying to survive, I think it's through 6 levels that get increasingly hard. You want to play through the levels. It's a bullet hell style game, so you know what that entails. Each of your characters has a different type of shot. So you have actually 2 different types of shots per character, and then a bomb. Much like most spaceship shooter games, you do have a bomb mechanic as well, which will, can help you clear out some of the bullets on screen. You actually want to take out the bounties on each stage. The boss fights at the end of each stage are like an outlaw, like a space outlaw, and you want to take them out. I think this game isn't crazy unique when it comes to like the spaceship shooter genre. It doesn't do anything that different that a lot of other games in the genre do. I think it's just a cool game all around from just like the visual standpoint and the aesthetic. It has great music. I love the vaporwave like 80s style in this game. And I mean, I think $5 is a perfect price point for this because you're getting some really fun arcade gameplay here that is replayable, has a few different difficulties, has leaderboards, but it's also just a good pick up and play game. Star Hunter DX, I would highly recommend this one, even though I haven't played it on my Steam Deck. You know what? I might actually buy it again just to play it on my Steam Deck. We have Alex Kidd in Miracle World DX, which is a remake of a classic Sega Master System games. Sega's been letting a lot of different studios remake their games, and this is one that I played when it first came out, and I actually own it twice. I own it on my Xbox and on Steam. When it first came out, I was a little critical of this game because it doesn't do too much to change the game itself. It's still, at its core, it is still Alex Kidd in Miracle World. But honestly, that original game is so solid. I think just the visual overhaul of this game, which looks beautiful by the way, is enough. Because Alex Kidd in Miracle World is a really great 8-bit platformer. With a lot of character and a lot of charm and a lot of levels to get through. I like the fact that in this version, you can actually switch between the new visuals and like an old style visual thing on the fly, which I know a lot of other games do. I think one of the remakes of Wonder Boy, I think it's Wonder Boy 3, the Dragon's Trap or whatever. I think that one also does this as well. It's just very cool to see that in this type of game. Alex Kidd is a game where you're going to be jumping, you're going to be punching, you're going to be collecting, using gadgets, buying things, playing rock, paper, scissors. I don't know. I think back when I first reviewed this game on the Xbox, on the button mappers, I wasn't as into Alex Kidd at the time as I am now. Having played the majority of the Alex Kidd series at this point, I have to say Miracle World is the best representation of this franchise, and it was the best one they could choose to remake. So it's a lot of fun if you like retro style, platformers. I think this is worth your time, and it plays great on the Steam Deck.
What do you get when you combine the charm of Castlevania with the madness of the bullet hell genre? Welcome to Vampire Survivors. This is a game that's incredibly simple on the surface, and yet surprisingly deep with more time spent on it. You have your controllable character, they come already equipped with a weapon, and you maneuver them around the screen, around whatever map you choose, slicing and dicing or shooting your way through various enemies, and unlocking different weapons and other equipables for your character. There are a plethora of weapon types that I don't want to spoil for you, but I can just break them down into melee, projectiles, and area of effect, and then the other equipment that you'll find will enhance your stats. So maybe you'll get a little bit of HP regeneration, maybe you'll get some armor, maybe you'll get something that doubles the number of projectiles every time your character fires. And one of the most fun things about this game is learning which weapons and which other pieces of equipment combine to create new effects. You don't have these revealed to you at the very beginning of the game, but as you unlock them and as you level up your gear, you will start to combine them, and then they will be logged on one of your pages so that you can always refer to them in the future. What makes this game a perfect pick for the Steam Deck is how it controls. On PC, you have your option of using your mouse, but it's a little bit finicky. Where you have your mouse relative to your character determines your movement speed. Whereas on the joypad, you simply adjust the amount of pressure that you use, and that adjusts your movement speed. So it feels much more natural when you're playing with a thumbstick. Also, there's nothing crazy in the way of graphics here, so everything shrinks down on the screen really nicely. I'll give you a quick peek into some of the other features of the game. There's an achievement section, an unlockable section. If you're someone who's concerned about trying to see everything that the game has to offer, then you can try to face every enemy and log them in the bestiary. Otherwise, I'm sure that simply loading up the levels again, unlocking new maps, unlocking new characters, seeing all the different weapon types will provide plenty of hours of gameplay for you, and I promise you, you'll get addicted to it. It is so satisfying every time you level up, every time you get a little bit stronger, and you can take on bigger hordes of enemies. And outside of the missions, you will use some of that gold that you earn to level up your character, so you can take some permanent stat boosts with you. Now, let's say you accidentally put something in your rate of fire, and you decided, you know what, I should have made myself a little bit tankier. That's okay. You can revert all of your stat buffs, get your gold back, and then reallocate your points. So that is the roguelike progression of this game, being able to have stat buffs that carry on with you between missions. I could go on detailing so many things, but honestly guys, the gameplay on screen speaks for itself, and most of the fun comes from unlocking all the secrets that this game has to offer. So I highly recommend Vampire Survivors if you're looking for something that you want to pick up and play. You can have 30-minute sessions, 20 minutes, 15 minutes, time limits are customizable. Knock yourselves out with this one.
Oh, sorry. I didn't think you'd be back so soon. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and let me know what you thought of our 5 picks. Do you have a Steam Deck, or are you interested in getting one? I still think it's the best value in gaming right now. Above the PS5, above the Xbox Series S, above the Switch. I have some sort of attachment to all of those in some way. I do play them, but honestly, I still think the Steam Deck's the king right now. So let me know what you think in the comments. What consoles or genres or series do you want to see 5 cheap games episodes for? See ya, I got more Steam Deck to play.